Good evening. Good morning.
Morning.
Wherever
I
you
know.
might be.
Well, the funny thing I was thinking about as we have this it's turning into autumn here, and the temperatures are beginning to not be like 80, and it's going down into the 50s tomorrow. Oh my God. So I am curious with this us being, topsy-turvy, top of the planet, bottom of the planet, that's like so symbolic of us anyway. Looking at the world in different perspectives. And I just want to, I'd like you to introduce the pulse of the week, but then I have a thought of what I would like to do while we're together today.
Okay. By the way, I'm Suzanne Joy, and this
Oh,
is
Deborah Leanne.
we're here talking about the pulse of the week and just tuning in to the energy at large. And this week we've moved into Gene Key 3, and this is Gene Keys written by Richard Rudd, where we're going to kind of talk about the three different states of consciousness in
Mm-hmm.
this Gene Key, which is all through the eyes of a child. This is the Gene Key of through the eyes of a child. And we're moving from chaos, from the shadow. This is the very humanness, to the gift of innovation, to the Siddhic state, or the highest essence of innocence.
So I I love that in the audio transmission, in the 64 ways that I listened to again this morning. One of the things that really stands out for me is the remembrance of how constant change, and actually the I Ching is based on change, and the gene keys are based on change, and how that as humans is a little frightening for us. We cling to what is, to what was, which keeps us very often not open into the flow of the movement, into where we're going, into the emergent future that we are um, dancing with. And
Yeah.
the more we can step away and out of that time and space continuum, the more we're able to go, oh, yeah, past, present, future, it's all
Right.
here now. I'm not giving anything away by moving from that,
Right.
even though my body feels like that. So there's this. I can feel that because I just was sharing right before we started that I'm in this place for 3 more days, and then I move to another little house that won't be as close to the beach, but I'll be in a nature reserve space, so it'll be green and beautiful and wonderful. Um, and I can feel my but I like being able to walk. I'm a block from the beach. I can hear the ocean at nighttime on my bed, and where I'm going is going to have equal, if not more, magic and more beauty to explore. And so anyway, I'm playing with that myself, of the clinging, and I also feel that with our children. I feel that with relationships. We move into a new state, and it's like, oh, but you remember back when we used to be like this? Well, that isn't going to happen. And speaking of which, my ex-husband is like, can we have a chat? I'd love to talk about, how you felt about our divorce. And I'm like, sure. Talk about healing. I'm calling this in. And now I'm going, oh, crap. And it dawned on me this morning. I woke up to, what happened 15 years ago isn't how you are relating now. And anyway, I'm looking at that clinging thing, and the past and the present, and the being the acorn that knows it's got a plan,
Right.
and just goes along with it.
And Richard Rudd talks about this key being in the ring of life and death. And there are multiple gene keys that are in that ring. And this, when you see that chaos plays a role in the evolutionary stages of life, it's a churning of the wheel, it's the changing of the seasons, we all need that. I don't want to say agitation, but it is a stirring, right? That's when new sparks of like, okay, this, you get clarity from chaos. We get clarity because it's like, okay, this is what I want and this is what I don't want. So I'm going to focus on what I want.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the innovative part of it too. And if we're open, and this is the importance of this and the innocence of it, is that play is a natural state in which we get to see, wow, we can create something new. And so we don't hold on, kids don't, let's just take a child, for example. Most kids, all right, maybe they were playing with their playmates and something happens. Most of the time, they won't remember the next day of what happened with Tommy or Bobby Sue. Really, they won't. They'll just, they move on. So that newness can happen, right? Some of us that have been around a little bit longer still sometimes hold on to some of the things that happened with Bobby Sue.
Decades. and then we wonder why things don't really, move forward in our lives either, or in that relationship, or, right. And I feel like this calling in the new thing, well, we don't even have to call it in because it is there all the time, but we're wanting things to change, but only those things, not this, that to stay. So, and one of the things that dawned on me this morning is, because he talks about our bodies and our health, and that is constantly in flux. And that's another way of clinging to being young, clinging to how I used to be in my 30s, 40s, 50s. And I'm laughing because I've been playing that game. And I look at my daughters who are late 20s, beginning their 30s, and I think, oh man, when I was that age. And I'm like, stop it. You're not. And how can I bless them and their becoming, and allow me to be in this space of being the elder, So anyway, I've been laughing about the whole thing. One of the things that I'd like to do is I listened to, I'm currently, and Susanne is too, playing with the Star Pearl, and we're in the deep dive that's going on, that's being led by Richard Rudd and his team right now. It's not really a beta phase because I feel like they're rolling it out beautifully. And they keep adding new tools. And one of the things that I have been listening to over and over and over again, because it's calming to my system, are some of the ways that these keys are linked, and talking about there's meditations on the different pathways. And one of the ones that I'm so in love with is the support one. And it's one of the ones I'm playing with right now. And where I want to go with you is, this key feels like when we feel that we are completely supported, we can relax into being in the moment, the innovative play, the creative juices,
right?
Because we're not like, oh my God, I'm trying to survive here.
You're not treading water. You're not, gasping for air. Right.
Right. And what I wanted to ask you is, how can this is so important, which is why I believe this tuning in thing, and Richard even called it that on our last group call. He called it let's do a tune in. Let's tune in together. And what I was thinking, that this is what you and I do, but we do some of our tuning in before we join into the recording of this call. And I feel that is what we are needing to do more and more and more of right now, to feel the support within, to feel the field, then feel the cosmic support that we are being held in so beautifully. He calls it being held in the, where is it? Do you feel held in the lap of the divine? And I can feel that, but I choose not to go there very often during the day. Why? It's such a delicious space. So anyway, so playing with that, and what else do you got for me to talk about? Because you, when I meant it, when I asked you this morning, do you have this key? Because you're so playful. I mean, this is just
Well,
in your spirit.
yeah, and I think that in the ring of life and death, there's a lot of keys. There's a couple of keys in that ring that I really tune into and relate to a lot. So because as a cosmic being here planted on this earth, we realize that death is an illusion.
Mm.
And so you get to hold on to this life very lightly because you don't take it for granted. You're only here for a blip. So one, I've learned over the years not to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Because we're really, the whole point of it is us to explore and expand into all of the different possibilities that we can become. And so why would you squinch that when you have so much to explore while you're here, keeping your eyes wide like child, like, oh my God, I never knew that. Why don't I try learning that? Like, why not? I think that we're so conditioned to be like, oh, I don't know. It might be scary to try something and fail at it, or I don't know what it could be. The stories could be multiple, but when we can tune into our pure essence of the long version of who we are, that just remember, this is just a blip. And so that's where the childlike wonder comes in. And I love that about this key.
Yeah. And I like to play with the using of the shadow as a teaching tool. I heard this the other day and it was so beautiful. I think it was Elijah that said that if we consider our shadows as teachers and go, oh, thanks for the reminder. There's that, constriction, or there's that, what's the shadow for this one? I just lost it.
The shadow of this one is chaos. And the
Yeah.
repressive nature is anal. So you can imagine that's when your breathing becomes really super shallow. You're like nervous, and you have this fear manifests through trying to maintain control in your life, as if you have control. Come on, people.
I know, but we always pretend that we do. Jeez.
So that's funny.
It's
It's a
like the
cosmic
bus.
joke.
It's like the bus schedule here. It's like you just think when the bus is coming. It's just a suggested time. So,
Right. So then we also have the opposite town, which is the reactive nature, and that's disordered, and that's chaos and disorder, which is very anger, not owned, and its frequency is very unpredictable direction. Kind of no rhythm, no purpose, just all over the place.
Yeah. And there's various degrees to both of those. I'm curious when I know what chaos feels like to me. It feels like overwhelm. I get confused. I get it's hard for me to make decisions.
Right.
I feel almost like I freeze because I'm like, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to make a decision. I don't know what's the best thing right now. Like there is a best thing right now. And
Right.
I'm also not very trusting because I'm not seeing the beauty in the mess. I'm not seeing that, oh, look at how that's all falling down so something new can happen. Cool. And
Is that always the case?
Yeah, when I lost that stone off my thing this morning, I was like, I'm like, it's a crystal. Crystals like to travel. It's going to go where it needs to go. You might find it. You may never find it. And somebody might find it and go, wow, this is so cool. So I had to let that go, and it had sentimental meaning for me. So I'm like, that's okay. The memory's still there of when I was given that. So, but talk about the clingy. Uh,
It's a perfect
so
lesson.
I loved it. Yeah. And so the mudra is, and it's funny because you said that you were doing this a lot. And I want you to do that in just a second. So you connect your thumbs, your index fingers, and your middle fingers, and you create like a triangle. And this is designed to be used in three places on the body. And I really like the fact that the mudra, each of the mudras is a meditative way to bypass the mind and bring the energy of the Siddhic state into our beingness. So you can use it down on your belly and take a few breaths there and say, I'm bringing in this beautiful innocence and childlike wonder, just breathe it in. And then you can put it over your heart and breathe in the innocence to here. And the third is you put it on top of your head like a crown. And I love this because it's an opening to all. And it's also, I think, reminding us that we are part of a bigger interconnected web of consciousness. Yeah. And so you said that you were playing with that.
Yeah.
Some years back.
When I started speaking light language again, it started coming through, but it would kept saying soon see, soon see. So it's like as in heaven above, so below. So it's like soon,
The up and down.
soon see, soon see. So we're pulling the energy down into our bodies, and it's safe, and we're all divinely connected all the time. There's not like a gap. Your wisdom is all intact, and you're safe, and just you can move about the cabin with ease and grace.
I am rereading the book Braiding Sweetgrass, and I'll put a link to it below. And I just finished the chapter that talks about the Indian schools, or the one in upstate New York that she was referencing, Hodenosi. I don't know how to say the name of the tribe. They, instead of the Pledge of Allegiance in the morning, the children stand and do a gratitude prayer. And they call in all the energies, the birds, the trees, the rocks, the sky, the sun, the stars, the fruits that nourish their body. And then they say, and now we, they don't say, and now we all are one, but our minds are one. So they are connecting to all of the beings that we share this planet with and beyond. And it's such a beautiful way for children to grow up feeling that interconnectedness to, what looks inanimate, but is also a being, And so I love that because it also reminds me to tune into every time the wind blows. I'm like, hello, thank you. You're bringing change, new temperatures, maybe, weather for sure, which changes rapidly here at the ocean. So I'm wondering, how do we be with when we get stuck? Especially, this is what I'm noticing. When I get stuck where I can only see this, and this is where the chaos is, because it's typically up here, or I see all of it out there, and then it scatters my energy out into the everywhere in the planet. Like, oh my God, that's going on and that's going on. I have to remember that grounded cord of energy that is uniquely mine, that goes down into the center of the earth, all the way up into the cosmos, and that being held the beings that we share the space with. It's just, why don't I choose that more often? I think I am more often now.
Yeah.
But how do you wake up and go, oh my God, that's not mine. That's chaos. That's my mind chatter telling me things are out of control.
Well, one of the first things that I do when I wake up is, what does love want to do today? Like, stepping into your day. Yes, it is your day, but you're also here as a vessel to do your mission, right?
Yeah.
So that's the innocent play to say, okay, what kind of day are we going to make it?
Yeah.
And even like, okay, I've had chaos the past 5 days. I was out sick. Okay. So I learned every day to be patient with myself and to be like, well, this is just as important. And what is it? What am I doing? I'm coloring. Okay. This is what I'm doing. And to
Yeah.
just be with and to love that, that space, even when it feels terrible, to know this too shall pass. And I am in it. I'm not of it, but I'm in it. And I can move where I need to move and rest when I need to rest and be with.
Yeah. And love where you're at. So one of the things that I heard him say this morning that really stuck with me is when we have that clingy thing where we want things to be different, or we're missing somebody and we have that energy that's kind of clingy. And I know that because I have the greediness one in my relating sphere. So it's like, and he says that's just immature love. And the antidote, or the way to overcome that, or to way to move through it, is to love more. And I literally love that. So I thought, oh, it's just a growing up of that love, because it is an immature love when you're wanting, oh, I want that person to do this or be this way or da da da. It's not love. Love, deep, real love. So anyway, I thought that was pretty beautiful. And I invite everyone to, when we start to get overwhelmed about everything that we see that's going on out there, to tune back in to our inner power, our inner source, our inner place of beauty and innocence, and all the citic states that await us, grounded in our own bodies. I'm going to remember that. Thank you for telling me, Deborah. What do you got for us in the card capacity there?
Today, I've got Work Your Light Oracle card deck.
Oh, I love that one.
And it's written by Rebecca Campbell. Top, middle, or bottom?
Let's go grounded, bottom.
Okay. Today, we have the initiation. Ooh, the rite of passage, crossing the threshold. And it kind of looks a little chaotic in this picture. We got some lightning.
Ooh, I'm loving that. Yes, please.
Give me a moment, please. The initiation. I'm
just going to play with the mudra.
You play with the mudra. This is the initiation. So, the rite of passage, crossing the threshold. Now, some of the most sacred initiation chambers and temples look scary from the outside, but are breathtakingly beautiful on the inside. This represents the journey of the soul pilgrim is required to take a reach somewhere sacred, but only the initiated can enter. Perhaps that's where you are right now, and that's where you're being tested. Initiated because you are headed somewhere sacred. So, if you are in the middle of initiation right now, you'll get through it. And one day soon, you will bless the thing that broke you down and cracked you open, because the world needs you open. You're going somewhere sacred. It will be worth it, and you're closer than you think. This is all about the rite of passage. Cross the threshold.
Yeah. Keep moving.
Yeah. This is all about, the shift from one age to the next. And it can be an emotional turmoil, great loss, grief, or devastation. But it's through this hardship that our heart cracks open and our spirit is invested to step forward. And this is really kind of, sometimes when things feel chaotic and it feels all over the place, as we go to pause and pivot, or pause and be with, we can find those golden nuggets.
Yeah.
And even when it is scary, lean in.
Mm-hmm. The pausing is a really good reminder. Thank you. I think we want it to pivot more quickly. And when I go there, that I'm not in a pause and I'm not in the being with stage. So it is the pause, be with, allow it to be. And typically that's what allows it to pivot. It allows the experience to shift. Yeah. Or not. And like, how many days were you kind of laid up coloring, And I had that one day that I was living very close to the toilet. I mean, it was just like, oh, it's a cleanse day. Okay, well, that's fine. I had nothing on the calendar anyway. There is something about being on sabbatical that makes it really nice because the schedule is really light. So, so anything to close before I feel like we're in this, I know we're revisiting the pulses, but it feels like there's such a shift in the energy, and you and I are both, in our own everyone is in a process of up leveling in so many ways.
Yeah, I've said that I kind of feel like I've been in the green goo. I definitely feel like as change happens, and I always my clients are always like, you always say that like the energy is really big, and I'm like, it's getting bigger. But it's definitely changing, and the more we anchor and know who we are and our divinity in action, in presence, boots on the ground, but connected to the cosmos, and you remember who you are, the stronger you are and the more empowered, making decisions that are coming from not your head, but from your wisdom from inside.
Yeah. There's an innocent curiosity and playfulness as well. It doesn't have to be so serious. The world externally is trying to keep us in serious mode, which I can feel the call for innocent play and creative innovation is so strong right now, because it's like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to hang out in that space. And every time the people hear my American accent and they're like, oh, they want to talk politics. These people know more about what's going on in the United States than the US people. And I love that. And I'm like, I've had my, I already had my conversation today. I'm done. It's like, I had my coffee today. I'm done. I only have this much capacity. So, anyway, thank you for being the playful, my co-creator in innocent play as we go wherever this energy is taking us. So,
yeah. Many blessings, everybody. Enjoy innovation and be conscious of the chaos, but know that you're there to create and stay fresh and new and lighthearted.
Yeah. And what else can be born from it? What else can show up in the middle of it? I'm watching the clouds move, and they're moving so fast, but they're constant, like light filled, dark, dense, diffuse. And I'm like, okay, that's what the world is right now. If we just let it move by, stay grounded. Thank you.
See ya. Until next time. Toodles.
Bye.